Hi, this is JR. Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be answering a question that people ask me all the time, and that is, what cologne did the king wear? Now, when it comes to Elvis, there's always one cologne that gets mentioned, and over the years it's almost become part of the legend, and people think that was the only cologne he ever wore. But I'm going to show you that the king had many colognes over his lifetime, and keep watching to the end of the video for the definitive answer to this question. So why is this one of the most popular questions that people ask? Well, a big part of Elvis's appeal was his incredible good looks, and naturally people want to know what he smelled like. It's a question that's never been 100% answered by all of the many Elvis biographies that have come out over the years. This is just part of my own collection of Elvis books that I've read and collected. If you read through all these books, the general consensus is that Elvis always smelled great, and almost at the point of being overpowering sometimes. But that's one of the reasons why we love him, because if he enjoyed something, he would just do it to the max. But none of these books provide a final answer as to what his favourite cologne was, or indeed if he had a particular favourite. But I've got the answer for you in this video. Now, I know some commentators are going to be saying, why is it important? And they're only interested in the music. They're not interested in Elvis's life outside of the music. Well, Elvis was a lot more than a musician. He was a human being. He was a son, he was a father, he was a husband, and his life story is very inspiring. It's a true rags to riches story, and if you say you're only interested in the music, you miss out on the human being. You miss out on all the triumphs and indeed some of the tragedies. So if you only want to listen to the music, that's absolutely fine. Good luck to you. But this video is for the deep fan, the hardcore Elvis fan who appreciates his life and has studied his life and what he achieved and where he came from. So let's get into it. In no particular order, these are all the colognes we know Elvis used in his lifetime. And let's start with my favourite one, and it's also the one where we've got the best evidence that he actually used it. It's the AVON Viking horn bottle. And the reason we know Elvis used this is because we actually have a photo of the bottle taken in Graceland's bathroom, and you can see the Viking horn bottle on the countertop, and it's a photo from 1974 taken by one of his girlfriends at the time. I actually have an original Viking horn cologne from the 70s, and this is identical to the one Elvis would have had. So from 1974 we move on to 1977, and at the end of his life, one of the colognes he was using is Zizanie, and we get this information from Ginger Alden's book. Staying with the 70s, we also know Elvis used High Karate and Jovan Musk, because after Elvis's death, his bandmate Charlie Hodge, he auctioned one of the black cases Elvis used to carry around with him, and inside the case were those two colognes. And of course, High Karate was super popular in the 70s, and Jovan Musk, it's still going strong today. The next cologne is also another one where the evidence is really good. We have a first-hand account from Elvis's ex-wife, and she was interviewed in 2017, and she said he used Old Spice, but she didn't be any more specific than that as to what year he used it. But because she's gone on record, we definitely know Elvis used it. What's interesting is she didn't mention that cologne we've all heard about as being Elvis's favourite. The one where the myths have grown up that he used to use that and no other, which is of course BRUT. Let's pause a minute here to talk about BRUT cologne and Elvis, because it's the one that's always mentioned. So, was it the only cologne Elvis used? No, it wasn't. But we can be sure that it was one of his favourites, because it's the one cologne that shows up at auctions more than any of the others he owned. And a lot of the biographies have mentioned BRUT and no other of his colognes. Next we have Aramis, and we get this information from a 1981 biopic movie called This Is Elvis, and in the opening scene they recreate one of his hotel rooms from the 70s during his touring period, and on the counter you can see they've put a bottle of Aramis. The technical advisor was Colonel Barker, so we can be sure that it's accurate. Another one we know that Elvis used is Canoe, because his bottle has been on display at Graceland from time to time, along with another bottle of BRUT. So that's another point for BRUT. So if we go by evidence, it seems BRUT is getting mentioned more than others and is seen more at exhibitions than others. So it does seem that BRUT was one of his favourites, but it certainly wasn't the only cologne he used, and we know at the end of his life he was using Zizani. So the answer is, there is no definitive answer as to what Elvis's favourite cologne was, but at least we know he always smelled good. So I've got two honourable mentions, and the first one is a cologne that Elvis used in the 1950s called LENEL, and this one is still being sold today, and it's sometimes advertised as being Elvis's favourite cologne, but like I said, the evidence doesn't point to that. The evidence shows that BRUT was likely Elvis's favourite, and with very strong evidence that he was using Zizani right at the end of his life. But it appears that he stopped using LENEL after the 1950s. And the second honourable mention goes to Nine Flags shaving cologne, which Elvis was using in at least 1972 that we know of. And we know this because his own personal bottle was auctioned in 2021 by the woman he gave it to. She said she was visiting Graceland in 1972, and Elvis gave her the cologne, as well as giving her a .38 revolver, a watch, a turquoise and silver bracelet, and a gold ring. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. You can also join as a member. It really helps the channel, helps me make better videos, and you get access to a lot of behind the scenes content, extra content, closer ways to interact with me, and also I've got some merchandise now, and you can see it below the video. So take care, bye for now, and thank you for watching.